Hello garden friends, September is here and that means we're shifting gears into fall gardening mode. Whether you're planting your first cool weather crops or just getting your beds ready for the season ahead, I've got several important garden task tips and reminders to help you make the most of this month. And since we're in hurricane season, I'll also share a few ways to protect your plants if a storm heads our way. Let's dive in. Number 1, before you plant anything, you need to know your first winter frost date. This date tells you how many days you have left for crops to mature before cold weather hits. I like to use a website called plantmaps.com to locate my average first winter frost date. You simply put in your zip code and it gives you an average date. Now, this is an average date. Sometimes first winter frost can come earlier or later. It just depends, but you need some sort of a starting point, so just go with it. Once you know your first average winter frost date, count backwards from that date to see which crops will fit or mature in that time frame. For example, if your frost date is 60 days away, choose vegetables that mature in 50 days or less so they can finish before frost. Moving along, September marks the official start of fall. Your soil has been working hard all summer, so before planting fall crops, add some amendments, a few inches of compost, pull out any plants that are done producing, and remove any weeds so they don't compete for nutrients. I cover cropped this area with sun hemp during the summer, and we just finished chopping it up to bits. It is now dried and created kind of like a straw-like mulch over the surface of the soil, which is suppressing weeds and will break down over time to feed the soil microbes. So this area is ready for planting. Also, fall is when a lot of gardeners grow various root crops, so things like carrots and garlic. I really like to amend the soil with lots of bone meal for extra phosphorus before planting because it helps them grow large roots or bulbs. If you can feel the change in weather during the month of September, as in cooler temperatures are moving in, fall has arrived. That means it's prime time to either direct sow seeds or grow transplants for many cool season veggies like lettuce, spinach, kale, radishes, carrots, beets, and so much more. If growing the bigger sized cool season crops like broccoli, cauliflower, or cabbage, use transplants instead. If you're a hot climate gardener, you might not feel the cooler temperatures until the very end of September like me here in Orlando, Florida. Or some of you that are in even hotter climates than me will feel it even later than that. But once you do notice it, that is a signal that fall has arrived, the heat is starting to go away, and you can start planting cool season stuff. Fall isn't just about veggies, it's also another opportunity to plant flowers all over the garden before your garden season is terminated by winter cold. Actually, in many areas, fall and winter are dearth periods for bees, which means they can't forage a lot of pollen and nectar out in the wild. So help them out by planting flowers, which will just in general attract them into your garden. If you're a hot climate gardener like me, fall is really your only chance to plant cool season flowers that do not like to grow during other times of the year because it's just too hot. This includes things like hollyhocks, which produces a lot of pollen for the bees, by the way, nasturtiums, borage, echinacea, cornflower, strawflower, and nicotiana. If you have about 3 months or more left until first winter frost, you can plant things like sunflowers, marigolds, and cosmos because they will definitely bloom before frost arrives. They are very quick to bloom from seed. And let's not forget that the monarch butterfly migration is going to start, so planting as much milkweed as possible will really help them out because this is a host plant, basically the only food source for their caterpillars. Another very important garden task to complete before you start planting up your fall garden is to mulch. Mulching is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to improve your garden's health. A good mulch helps regulate soil temperature, conserve moisture, and suppress weeds, but the real magic comes when it also feeds soil microbes and breaks down into rich organic matter over time. Materials like shredded leaves, wood chips, or grass clippings slowly decompose, adding nutrients and improving soil structure as they feed beneficial organisms underground. On the other hand, mulches such as pine needles or straw can still help with weed control and moisture retention, but they don't offer as much in the way of long-term soil building because they break down very slowly and they don't offer much food for the soil microbes. Personally, I primarily mulch with wood products because it feeds a plethora of soil biology over a very long period of time. I get loads of free wood chips from getchipdrop.com. I have a video all about that, which I will just link below in the description. Or if I'm unable to source free wood chips for whatever reason and I have to buy something, I pick all natural, undyed mulch from the store. So once you're done amending the soil and adding a few inches of new compost, top with mulch, and then everything is all set for planting. If you've been considering adding a drip irrigation system to your garden, now is the perfect time to get it done before you start planting your fall crops. Installing it early means you can lay out your garden beds without having to work around established plants, and your soil will be ready to water efficiently from day one. Drip irrigation might sound like a huge project, but I promise you it is not. If I can figure it out, any of you can too. I use drip drip irrigation kits from Drip Depot, which come with everything you need to build a system that is fully operational in just a few minutes, and it does not require the use of lots of tools, just some scissors and a little handheld device to poke holes into the irrigation lines. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I just really love their kits. I do have videos showing how I install flat drip tape with built-in emitters to water in-ground plants, and I have another video showing how I installed fan sprayer type of emitters to water my grow bags or other containers. Of course, I will link both of those videos below, plus links to all the kits and supplies that I use. The drip irrigation system that I use also has a fertilizer mixer attachment. What that means is that it mixes water-soluble fertilizer and just shoots it through my drip irrigation lines to pretty much fertilize everything. I can't tell you how many hours drip irrigation has saved me. I don't have to manually water or fertilize the majority of my garden. September and October are the most active months of hurricane season, so just be prepared. To protect your garden, stake or tie down tall plants so they don't snap in strong winds. I tie the trunk of young fruit trees to T-posts that I drive right next to it so they don't bend and snap. Move containers or green stock garden towers to a sheltered area, like against the house or in a garage. Harvest anything close to ripening. You don't want to lose it. I just finished harvesting a bunch of moringa before hurricane winds just come through and shred off all the leaves. I basically hacked down the entire tree. Trust me, it will grow back. If you have any plants that you would be devastated if a hurricane killed it, take cuttings and propagate so you have backups just in case. It is so much less stressful when the garden is ready. That way I can focus on prepping my house if a hurricane is on the way. Lastly, I want to share the idea of starting a worm composting bin, also known as vermicomposting, to produce your own nutrient-rich worm castings. Worm castings are essentially the frass or poop from earthworms, and they're an incredible food source for soil microbes, help keep root knot nematodes in check, and offer a host of other garden benefits. Worm castings can be pricey to buy, so making them yourself is a smart investment. In fact, worm composting is often easier than traditional composting since there's no need to turn large piles, and it's perfect for smaller gardens that just don't have enough space for a full compost setup. The process is simple. Everyday kitchen scraps like fruit and veggie peels go into a bin with bedding materials such as shredded cardboard, paper, or coconut coir, along with red wiggler worms. Over a few months, the worms transform this waste into a dark, crumbly fertilizer that boosts soil health and encourages lush plant growth. You'll know it's ready when the bedding has been completely converted into rich castings. If you're new to the idea, there are plenty of great YouTube tutorials that walk you through setting up your first worm bin step by step. So that's my list of garden task tips and reminders for September. Fall gardening is such a rewarding time. The cooler weather, decreased pest and disease pressure, and exciting harvests make it one of my favorite seasons. And if you'd like help choosing the best crops to plant each season, check out my Seed Club subscription. I handpick varieties perfect for the upcoming season and send them with detailed instructions, members-only classes, and access to my private gardening group. There is a link in the description with more info. Let me know in the comments what you're planting this month, and if you found this guide helpful, please give me a huge big thumbs up. That helps my channel out more than you know. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video.